All right, everybody, we want to give it up for our next team and their celebrity host, who is Alex Ebert, who just recently won a Golden Globe for Best Original Score for All Is Lost. So give it up for Alex Ebert and his team, SecondGov.
All right, I'm just going to read out this thing quick. For most people, there are two major deterrents to even trying for sweeping governmental and economic change. It will either take an entire lifetime of protesting and picketing and politicking through red tape, or it will take devastating bloodshed. Even worse, how can you be sure the changes will work? Well, why not invent a third way? A way to safely explore all options, vet them, vote them, enact them, test them, and see if they will work in the safety of a virtual reality. We present to you, in its first stages, a revolutionary way to be a revolutionary. SecondGov.
SecondGov is the open virtual government we all want that allows anyone to propose, to discuss, to vote, and enact whatever your passion is in the government. This is a homepage where we see some popular proposals, but let's go to the list of proposals we have. As you can see, there's different types of proposals for policies that we want to see enacted. But there's an IRS one. Can you click on that? This looks very interesting.
Right, this is an idea, this is what gave me the whole idea of the SecondGov thing. Basically, I was thinking, well, when I pay my federal income taxes, I want to say where the money goes. So I got the domain, the newirs.com, and it's going to look just like the IRS, except it's going to have an allocation mechanism. It's got 9 categories so far. You guys can talk about that. You know, education, defense, etc. And you get to choose where your funds get allocated. And yeah, I hope you guys vote for it.
But Alex, you forgot technology. And can you just type in the comments, technology? How about technology? So now, as a citizen, as anyone, I can join the discussion right away.
One thing about government in general is it's difficult for us to be involved. Getting to the polls is not convenient for everyone. So we felt it was really important for us to make this convenient. The best way to do that in today's world is with that iOS device that you guys all have. So that's one thing we did. Now there's also a great company called Plantronics, and Plantronics has some pretty awesome devices. So if you're lucky enough to get one of those devices, or invest in one, then you get to use this awesome feature. So within our iOS app, a user can go in, view proposals wherever they are, scroll through them easily. Let's bring up the iOS app.
Alex?
Meanwhile, he's going to vote sort of by shaking his head. It'll be really cool. But where this will especially come in handy, you want to go for it? You vote for something?
So this is a proposal page. Now, conveniently, you can click on the plus or minus, but in the case that you have to review a lot of proposals at once, you're following a lot of individuals who have really great ideas, you can just sit back and relax with your iPhone or your iPad and simply nod your head yes, and it will automatically swipe to the next screen for you. And if you're not a big fan of that, just shake your head no. Simple as that.
This will come in especially handy for our virtual bazaar, where you can test out a new economy, or a virtual town hall where you sort of yay and nay. Because we do have a little avatar sort of aspect to this whole thing that's sort of the web-based portion.
Now, so there's this great company called The View. There's a great company called The View that's actually here in Utah, and they're focused on using 3D animation for education. So unlike Second Life, which I think has kind of been viewed as, it's not very well,
It's okay.
yeah, it's okay. But it's not appropriate for everyone sometimes. So it's highly regulated, and it gives us a little more, better for younger aged children. So if we go back to the app, I think it's election time. I thought I heard.
Hey Drew, did you get the notification?
Yeah, I thought I
Today
heard
is
that.
election day. And hey Cooper, come on up here, and Travis, come up here. Today is election day for the mayor of Deer Lodge. Guess what? Everyone can vote. So there's this phone number up here.
Everybody get out your phones.
Get out your phone,
Wait.
SMS.
Everyone.
Everyone get out your phones and
Vote for me.
text to this number.
Text 1 if you want Cooper,
Vote
or
2.
2
Vote
for
Vote 2
Travis.
for Travis. Come on, give me some votes. Give me some votes.
Can I vote for election is open?
Cooper is my phone. Can I get it right?
Yes.
Come on, there's more than
No.
5 people here. Come on.
Text 1 or 2.
You have a phone? Come on. There you go. So now,
So this may seem like a waste of time. The point is, though, that of course there's no mayor of the hotel, in actuality. But virtually speaking, we're liberated to now think freely and think virtually and create a mayor. In fact, I can run for governor of California while Jerry Brown is getting elected. And I can become the virtual governor of California with a virtual platform. The thing is that eventually, if some of these ideas really work, the transference from virtuality into reality, I think, will be sort of obvious. And we can skip all of the sort of the difficulty. And if something is overwhelmingly sort of positive and works, we can transfer it to reality.
so they say every vote counts. Now my voice can be heard. Apparently, Cooper, you are now mayor of Deer Valley Lodge.
All right, everybody, give it up for Team SecondGov. And now we're going to have 3 minutes of Q&A, and we'll have our last team come up. Wait, I came back? Wait. Is there a tie? Hold on. The votes have not been counted. It's just like Florida. Oh, hanging Chad, yes. Okay. All right, let's get some.
So you mentioned anyone can propose ideas, and I can see how that works, and anyone can vote, and I can see how that works. And then you teased that ideas can be enacted and tried out and tested in a virtual environment, and that I didn't see a lot of focus on here, and that is sort of seems to be the most fascinating aspect of this. Could you elaborate on that?
All right. Exactly. So the idea is that we liberate ourselves entirely from the idea of like the hodgepodge of red tape and whatnot. And we actually enact it. I actually become the governor of California on SecondGov, concurrent with the governorship. And the map of America may start to change. I have a good friend who wants to change Washington and Oregon into the bioregion of Cascadia. And if that gets enacted statewide or across the country, then that becomes the map of SecondGov. The trick, I think, is to keep it sort of in step with reality to some degree. And I think that, anyway, go ahead.
I guess what I mean is, how does this help evaluate whether an idea is valid and good?
Sorry?
How does this help evaluate whether an idea is a good idea that should transfer into real life?
Popularity.
Popularity.
Popularity, of course. Because eventually bad ideas are bad ideas, and everyone knows they are.
I really like the design. It's very positive, optimistic. Makes you want to actually take action. I love the sort of Tinder for government design of the mobile app. How do you think about people who really want to make it an idea a reality? How can they kind of maybe everyone who votes positively on an idea automatically is signed up to get an email? They want to how are you guys thinking about that moving forward?
So actually, we had an idea of when you get to a threshold and have a community behind an idea, push it out to change.org and make it a reality.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I think change.org requires maybe 200,000 or some minimum threshold of petitions. So for our site, we could consider each one of these upvotes to be some type of formal digital petition. Eventually, that we should be able to get to that level. And eventually, if change.org has an API or some integration, we could automatically take the ones, the leading proposals, and automatically publishing to change.org for the real administration to see and take into effect.
For the last question.
Are you familiar with whitehouse.gov and the petition area on that? Does this go a long way beyond that? How?
So we haven't looked too much into that, but I mean, I am aware of the change.org website that the Obama administration has, for example.
I would just say, to me, the difference is that everything else that I've seen functions in the realm of reality, like, let's push this actual thing through, let's get our politicians that are pre-existing to actually work towards that. For most of us, that seems like that's not going to happen. The beauty of this is that we can push something through and make it happen virtually. And if it gains enough momentum and popularity in the virtual world, it becomes a discussion in reality.
There's no bureaucracy to slow it down. People can just go ahead and throw it out there, regardless of the worry of whether or not it can be implemented, which is the beauty of it.
All right, everybody, give it up for Team SecondGov.